Hi, thank you for joining. My name is Brian Jacobs. I'm the founder and CEO of panOpen, a company that is helping educational institutions adopt next generation open source educational materials, or OERs as they're known. And those are public domain materials that are available for remixing and customization and then shareable. And I advance. There we go. So technology transitions typically begin mimetically, which is to say that they imitate or mimic the earlier form of technology before sort of coming into their own and in their new form. Lots of examples of this. The first movies were fixed camera shots of theater, for example. The first gas lamps were made to look like flames. And one remembers not long ago that the first e-books would simulate the turning of pages. With digital media, generally, it isn't just a transfer of form, but also of the way the content is actually produced in the first place. Education is sort of late to the game here, but it is happening now. It's moving from a centralized model of content creation, which is what it has been exclusively, to one that corresponds to other media that is distributed or disaggregated. So if you think about OER adoption, it's been available for some 20 years. And the amount of that adoption has been pretty low until about 5 years ago. So it really languished at the margins of the academy. But then 5 years ago, it really started to take off. And it's now about 10% of the market and continuing to grow quickly. But what's also interesting about that growth is that it was fueled almost entirely from this imitative process, replicating the commercial model and then releasing content into the public domain. In fact, a single OER publisher is responsible for the vast majority of all that growth. The principal benefit has been the lowering of cost, but too often at the expense of quality of content and the tools that support learning outcomes, so having to forego that. But we're clearly at the start, and the conservative expectations, I would say, is about a quarter of the market will be OER within the next 4 years alone. But more fundamentally, what we're seeing is not OER 1.0, right, which was essentially imitating the theater production from a film, but the new version, which is pressed or pushed on by faculty and by college administrators, who are now experiencing for the first time the power of an open license and what that means for the way they work with educational content in the classroom. So we at panOpen are supporting this. So we provide the tools for customization, remixing, assessments, analytics, communication, collaboration, all packaged together. We also provide for them a business model that recognizes both professionally and financially the contributions that faculty are making when they're engaging with this kind of material. And so they are the ones driving this, and they're incredibly excited to be participating in this sort of next wave of educational content. But it's not just for faculty. it also addresses some of the fundamental challenges that educational institutions have long faced. Removing permanently the cost barriers for access to educational content. Initially, that was the lead for OER. Certainly, an important part of it remains. But also the capability now, for the first time, of aligning learning objectives and content itself cross-institutionally, unencumbered by the commercial copyright. It also enables faculty collaboration at the institutional level with instructional designers through the kind of free movement of content that would be unthinkable in a commercial model. It can also promote institutional value, the value of the institution, through OER and institutionally branded content that's available to prospective students anywhere in the world. Think of the PR value that MOOCs have played for so many higher ed institutions around the world. OER can play a similar role. We're working with colleges around the country. A couple of examples of how faculty are doing some really groundbreaking work is an example, Rockland Community College has created for a writing program these thematic modules that allow students to move from one text to another, all with open content. And what it's enabled these teachers to do is teach at a higher level. This is a community college that is teaching Paradise Lost, or parts of it, because of the way it's embedded in these modules or constellations. In addition, the students have content that they're generating that rides alongside in the margins of the text, where they contribute. And the best of that content actually then becomes part of the course. University of Kentucky, combining multiple texts and assessments and teaching slides and flashcards and assessments into a single courseware. So we're not raising right now, I'm out of time, but we would love to talk to potential partners yeah, thank you very much.